Hey guys, what's going on? My name is SHADEDSHADOWMC. Welcome back to episode 18, 17, something like that. In this video, I decided I'm just going to go ahead and separate them into their different episodes because they're like 10, 15 minutes each, so it's good enough to add into its own episode. This video is going to be Trust Part 2, which is the Sunday episode, and we'll have to get into Natsuki's story next week. But anyway, this is Trust Part 2, which is continuation of the. Go ahead and check out Part 1 if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, we're going to continue with Part 2, so yeah. Let's go ahead and start that now. Another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monika should have come up with the plan for today's club task, she hasn't been able to share her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayori's going through these kinds of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of going the other way around. What kind of club president does that? This whole time, I didn't think to ask about her own feelings. Oh, my audacity. What the hell? Get out of here, dude. So much for the stupid vision. Sayori enters the club room with her usual smile, but upon seeing the downcast Monika, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monika, is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monika shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me I'm trying to make the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But she says that her face darkens. Throughout the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monika stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worrying about me. I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. Damn. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monika massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable that Sayori isn't ready to share certain things, but as unfair as it is for Monika to pry, it's also painful for Monika to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah, Monika takes a deep breath. Okay. I understand you don't want me to worry, and I think I'll be able to put this aside so we can move on. But can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monika pauses to collect her thoughts. This is the Literature Club. It's a place where people can express themselves in the ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Right the way into your heart or whatever. So I want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be there for you when you need it. I want to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monika returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine. We have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know? There's no way I could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's fine. I think I just need some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard. You just kind of need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're going to have to fight with your perfectionist mind on this one. You can just start by writing your feelings and see what kinds of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. But it's not like building a railroad where you can go from one end to the other. It's more like a collage where you find the things you want to put in and then you arrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way, but it's a really good way not to get stuck at the beginning. I understand. Yeah, I always get caught up on how it sounds that I forget what's actually important. Monika pulls out a pen and paper to start writing on. Stop being a perfectionist, you idiot. Haha, I'm just kidding. Monika scribbles, you idiot, after she writes it down. No, keep it. What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot? Of course not, but the point is you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. But it was just, well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monika rewrites, "You idiot." She shares the paper. Her words stare back at her. Is it kind of funny that I wrote down what I'm mad at myself for and then did the exact same thing anyway? This is really going to take me some getting used to. I believe in you. Thanks, I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course. Monika continues the exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it. But after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monika's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all her random thoughts. Phew! Monika looks down on her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it, but it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. And I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I'd really like to try really hard at it, but I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing. With you. Sayori beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Let's get to work on a new flyer for the club. And won't be so picky about the language. Yay, let's do it. Monika and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, two of them become more confident in the club, not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. Finally, they begin to truly feel, and it's only a matter of time before they find more members. Hey, not bad. Another day passes. As usual, Monika's the first one to the clubroom. With her is a printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all new ideas Monika and Sayori came up with. If only this was a flyer we gave to the one reading girl the other day. It was so much more attractive than the old one. But the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. Surely, common sense would say one writes from the heart, not into the heart. But the message being delivered is that one could use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monika and Sayori had thought that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? Monika looks back at the previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be the president if I can't even demonstrate what the club's supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. With that, the weight of Monika's shoulders only becomes heavier. The debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monika was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself for real. Monika pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen. Monika lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her finger across it. As she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monika's canvas. Ugh! Out of spite for herself, Monika presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monika, just move your hand. Monika writes. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Interesting. I love it. Monika slides the paper away from her and puts a hand down the desk. Wow. This is what I get for seeking perfection. The air conditioner seems louder today. Damn, replace the filter then. I'm here. Hi. Monika hears Sayori approach her desk and stop for a second, probably reading this piece of paper. Then she sits down on the adjacent desk. Bad day? Mm-hmm. Me too. You too? The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so hard to just be vulnerable. Sayori takes a sheet of paper from Monika's desk. She writes something down and stares at it for a while. Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayori gazes at Monika with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monika takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. Sometimes I want to die. Jesus Christ. Sayori, this is really, really hard for me. Her voice shakes. So if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like 1,000,000 times better than me. That's completely not true. Sayori takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. There's something about me that I'd never told anyone before. Even now my head is like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday. I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to the club in the first place. This is the literature club. I trust you more than I'm scared. As those words, Monika stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Were Monika's own futile but generous efforts actually the push that Sayori needed? Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monika waits in gentle silence. I have this problem where I usually get upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you could just be happy instead? So I never tell anyone about these kind of thoughts that I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. But that's terrible. That's what Monika wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing. It's just that if everyone else knew about it, they would treat me the same anymore. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask what's wrong. I know that, because it used to be like that. Sayori pauses, seeming to recall something in the past. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone. Sayori pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like an extremely different person. Entirely. How'd you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I won't be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. Another part of me, I just felt like it would be different this time. Wherever we talk about this club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling like it was right for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself, too. It just made me feel like I can say in confidence and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly. The club was only 2 people, but it already means this much to me. Monika feels a tightening sensation in her heart. A feeling of connection to Sayori's emotions radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're strong and brave. I don't even compare. Monika steps forward. But, if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy, if you'd like. Aw, that's nice. Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayori reaches her forehead on Monika's shoulder. That's not, I can't right click on the thing. What the hell? Can I right click, dialog box side, audio? I can't right click on the thing to save, but I think I can get it. And in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monika realizes that all the days have passed. This is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You could say anything. I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayori's breath begins to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to stop speaking and to say the things she never once dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless, and everyone would be better off without me. She suppresses a sob, and a tear falls behind her neck. This is sad, but it's wholesome at the same time. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything, and it just feels like everyone has to put up with me, and I hate it. The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching at her throat and chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away, and now I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die. As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monika becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be who Sayori needs right now, so she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. It's just being your friend. Monika offers a few words of comfort. But she knows Sayori said it herself. The thoughts that Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong. And Monika can't magically make them go away. The more she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value. To me, the other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really, really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could have happened. Even if we never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's why you brought here. You brought us a vision, and you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monika makes her feel gently nod. No more words are needed between them. Not bad. The two share an embrace for a little while longer, Monika letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are, if that's what makes you happy. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Sayori nods. It's scary, since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah, well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I'll do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Wow, that made me tired and hungry. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. I mean, I can say that it's definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monika smiles. But I want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of her door causes the two of them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. The face that seems familiar. All right, that's pretty cool. I like that. That was a good ending there for the trust one. Let's see if I can find that one GC. Yeah, this one. This is what I need. A scene from Side Story. I wanted to get like a picture of it for the thumbnail, like fully without the GUI. So that's why I wanted that. All right, that's gonna have to be it for today. My name is LaserFighter111. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video for more awesome content, and I will see you guys later.